glad you could join me today.
Today we will do something amazing. You may have seen the latest episode by Corridor Crew where they tried to follow Bob Ross in real time. It was very fun to watch. I highly recommend watching this video. My favorite part of this episode that Sam was incredibly chill. He made something amazing. He was also the winner. He used Unreal Engine 5. And I thought maybe some people would like to learn how to do something similar to Sam. I always wanted to learn how to do something similar to Sam. There are some assets I'm going to use for this project. I made sure all of them are for free, and links to everything I use for this project are in the description below. Alright, empty canvas, let's get started. Let's fill our empty canvas with a landscape. By default, our landscape have number of components 8 by 8, 505 meters by 505 meters. I would like to extend that just a little, so I'm gonna make 16 by 16. That's a kilometer by kilometer. If you don't believe me and want to measure the landscape, press Ctrl, then middle mouse button, then move your mouse to the top so we can switch to the top view, zoom out, and click on one of these angles here with the middle mouse button. The numbers here we see are in centimeters, and boom, that's 100,000 centimeters. And the same for this side. Let there be light. Let's go to window and find environment light mixer. Create a skylight, create atmospheric light, which is a directional light, create a sky atmosphere and a volumetric cloud. Then tell that window to go away. The directional light, hide it and unhide it so we can see our atmosphere. I think this is a bug or something. One of the first things I like to do when I start a new project is establishing my shot and adding a mannequin. To add a mannequin, go to add here and add feature or content pack. You can select third person template. Once you do that, you will have 3 new folders, mannequin and the third person stuff. Click on the mannequin, character, mesh. There is male mannequin and female mannequin. F to focus selected. And by holding Alt, left mouse button, I can orbit around the center of my screen. Alt, right mouse button, zoom in and out. Alright, the next thing then is a camera. Go to create. Cinematic camera actor. This is the first time I see virtual production. Let's center the camera somewhere like here and set the height to something like 200. Let's move it to the back, just like this. Awesome. I already have my modeling tools enabled, so I'm gonna click on here and I will just make a simple box. 300, 400 by 400. It will be a placeholder for the nice little house we have here. Gonna click complete, press Shift 1 again to switch back to my select mode. On my camera, I will click here on pin preview so I can always see what's going on. Let's switch back to our landscape mode. We can click on this button or you can press Shift 2 to do that. Let's go to manage and on splines here. Let's add some splines for our road. I would like to start with this. Press Ctrl, click here, set the half width to 250. So we have 5 meters road, and let's just do nice little road like this. Let's set the side fall off to half the size here, so that's 500. To see what's going on, I'm gonna press Alt 2, so that's 500, that's good. I'm gonna select all my control points and move them down a little bit, just like that. Maybe that's too much. Alright. And on the landscape, while I'm in spline mode, I can go here to tool settings and deform landscape to splines. I'm gonna click on all splines. Nice. You may need to click on all splines multiple times. That's completely okay. You can also affect one specific segment. So this segment, let's say, I'm gonna select first these 2 points, move them up, then click this segment and then say here only selected. Easy peasy. I'm gonna click all splines multiple times and call it a day. I will go now to sculpt and go to smooth and just quickly smooth out my terrain. Make our brush size bigger, just like that. Alright, let's set up our landscape material. There is a landscape material I'm working on, it's work in progress. I will make it also free to download once I finish it. Check out the description. Where you at, landscape? There we go. I will select my landscape here, right click and click on create material instance, mi pub, and I'll move it to my project. Then if we click on the material and drag it here, nothing is going to happen because landscapes are special. You need to click on the landscape first and then go to the landscape tab here. Landscape material, just click and drag or click on the use button. It will take a while to compile the shaders. Everything will look black. That's completely fine because we need to assign the layer info. Let's go back to our landscape editing mode, then go to paint and you will see these layers. What we need to care about now is the auto layer here. So on the plus, click create weight blended layer, normal. Then it will make a new folder next to your map and give it the same name of the map, then underscore shared assets. The name is also automatically generated. All you need to do, click save. Give it a few seconds to compile the shaders. Since we're here, I'm going to click on material 1, 2 and 3 and also create layer infos for them. Press Ctrl Shift S to save everything. Press Shift 1 to switch back to select mode. Let's click on our terrain and open our landscape material instance. So I will double click here and we need to assign and find some materials to replace these materials here. Quixel Bridge is integrated by default in Unreal Engine 5, which is great. There are 3 ways to access that. If you right click in your content browser, here's one. If you click on add, here's 2. And if you click on content, Quixel Bridge, here's 3. You need to sign in, get hydrated while it's doing its thing. I have no internet. Internet. Give me a second, I'm gonna fix the internet. Open Quixel Bridge and in the search bar you can search between 15,000 assets. So for example, grass, uncut, look at this. All these materials to choose from. Another way to find assets quickly for your projects, depending on what type of environment you're making. If you go here to collections, then go to the environment tab, natural, you will find all these collections that you can choose from. So for example, the Nordic forest here, if you click on it, you will find 3D assets, materials, cool stuff. Click download everything and just export to your project. So let's say this is a material I like for the path, the swamp soil. I usually like to download on medium quality or low quality first, and when I'm happy I just go with the high or highest. 1K, 2K, 4K and 8K texture resolution. Keep that in mind. 2K is fine. The asset is going to take a few seconds to download. Once it's finished, just click here on add. Let's find a nice grass material. So for grass, I went with grass uncut. Easy peasy. This is one of the materials I used. There we go. Let's open back our material instance of the landscape, enable these texture maps, and I will start with the swamp soil. Replace the albedo, roughness and normal. There are some textures that we export from Quixel Bridge to Unreal Engine 5 that have multiple channels, just like this one. So some assets you may export will have the roughness would look like this, and others would look like this. This material here, the texture for it, this guy, R, this channel is the ambient occlusion, G is what we want, the roughness, B is for the height map, the displacement. So if you import an asset that look like this, RGB stuff, you can always go to my landscape material and click here, use roughness mask, enable it, and you can replace this texture here. For now, we don't need to do that. I will go now for my second material, and these are going to improve, still work in progress. The second material, here, easy peasy, change the albedo, the normal, and roughness. Save. The texture now look extremely repetitive, and this is why I love Unreal Sensei tutorials. So one of the things I learned from him is cell bumping. Wait for it. Just by enabling one option, there is no repetition anymore. That's crazy. Tiling, no more. Of course, if you still have tiling, then you need to choose a seamless texture or a better texture, but that's all what we need for now. Alright, I will switch back to my landscape mode and I will click on material 1 that contains my soil or path, and I'm going to draw above this path here. So first I will reduce the brush size and reduce the tool strength. Click on few places on my landscape so it compiles the shaders. Once compiling is finished, I can now draw my path in peace. Alright, look at that. We need to lower our path more, so we can go back to sculpt. You can sculpt it just like this, which is totally fine, but I don't like to do it this way. I just simply like to go to manage, splines. Let me get rid of this spline. Let's make a new spline on our path, but before we do that, let me check my camera first. Do I like this? I like this camera angle more. By the way, let me show you something. Let's say you want to bring this mannequin here, but you don't want like to drag him. It's painful, and you don't want to press Ctrl B and just like do this. Maybe you don't. There is an option called paste here. I'm gonna copy my mannequin and I'm just gonna click somewhere on my landscape and right click, then go to edit. There is this option, paste here. I already assigned a shortcut for it. So if I click somewhere, press Shift V, it's gonna paste the mannequin for me or anything. Press here, Shift V, paste here, paste there. So keep that in mind. I will keep this boy here. So if I press Shift, I can remove my road. This is way too wide. You may see that this texture here is also repeating. We can solve it with the cell bumping. So if we open our landscape material, go to material A and use cell bump. So I'm gonna enable this. Look at that, tiling is gone. Awesome. Let's go back to manage, splines, and make a nice, lovely road. Select all my control points, set the width to 200 this time. I will enable my snap to 50 and I will just move it once. I know it's 50 centimeters lower. Now I will go back to my camera and I'll go back to sculpt, smooth out some parts, but let's reduce the tool strength. And let's look again at our reference. Okay, by looking at our reference here, I will raise this area a little bit and the same for this area before I start drawing grass and trees to fill up our scene. So I'll press on my camera, pin it again to the view and switch back to my landscape mode by Shift 2, go to sculpt, reduce the tool strength. I can simply look here and I can see where is my brush and I can start painting. Alright, when you're moving inside such a project, don't forget to scroll up to move your camera faster and scroll down to reduce the speed of the camera. Instead of going here every single time to change your camera speed. So you can scroll up to go faster, scroll down to go slower. It's very fun to use. Now I would like to draw some hills in the background, so I'm gonna increase the strength a little bit and the brush size. Observe here, I just want to change this straight line. Go back to my camera, press F11 to go in the immersive mode. I like this. I think this is great and we can save everything now. Let's bring this boy back to ground. Alright, if you reach this point, amazing. You can do two things. You can open Quixel Bridge again and go to Home, 3D Plants, download some 3D plants to start scattering these around our map here. This is the fun part every time. If you don't want to download assets from Quixel Bridge, there are Project Nature assets from the marketplace, 100% free, that I left links below as well, that you can download and use for your project. I hope you're following along, by the way. Once you finish your work, feel free to tag me, tell me, hey boy, look at what I did. And I'm like, good job. Alright, I will be using Project Nature assets just because there are so many assets to choose from. So we will go to Foliage Collection, Meshes, Grass Mesh. Look at this, all of this, grass mesh, whatever you want. I'm gonna keep things simple. I will select random assets and I will click here on my foliage edit mode and I will click on these assets and drag them here to the foliage type. To see more of what's going on here, one of my favorite things about Unreal Engine 5 is the ability to right click on a tab and then click on move to sidebar. Boom. Whenever you want it, you can click it, do whatever you want, then close it. But maybe this is not the best place for it, so let's restore tab and put it here. I will select these 4 foliage types here, then I will go to the scaling. I will keep it at uniform, but I will reduce the scale from 1 to something like 0.7 to 1.2, so I can have like randomization in the scale. And I will try and paint. This is very large grass type. So instead of randomly selecting grass types here, let's start with the first few options we have because they are the grass, small grass meshes we need. These 4, set the scale on 0.8 and 1.2. Let's see if we click what will happen. That's nice. Because I want the grass to start small, then larger, larger, and like large. I'll go back to my camera. I will increase the density of my grass to, let's say 350. Not bad. And simply click around. I remove these parts here and make this small. Go back to the camera. Alright, need to draw more. That should be enough for these, so I will disable these and I'll go back to my content browser. So here we have grass type 1, then mesh number 5, 1, 7 and so on. And here we have a different type of grass, which is grass type 2 and then mesh number 1. So let's see what this is. Let's see what this is. I will click on this, this and this, move them here, reduce my brush size more, a little, and then increase the density again. So I'm simply just selecting the types of foliage I want to paint them. If I want to remove, I press Shift and remove. This is very different from the reference we have. That's completely okay for me. But what I would like to do in this case is to click on flatten, reduce the brush size, and make another path. You know, this is just like your boy Bob says, this is my world, I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Tell you what, let's get crazy. This is our world, so we can do anything.
Alright, I like this. I will go back to the foliage mode, enable these, and then just get rid of these here. And paint some here. Alright, oh, what's going on? I would say that's enough grass for today, or at least for now. Let's see what else we have. I like this. It's called grass 10 mesh 4. Press Ctrl B to locate it. It's actually multiple pieces. Let's take these three, add them here. And let's see if we simply paint, will they appear? Yeah. You can already see some randomization in the grass, and basically that's how real life is. There is something of everything. I love Project Nature assets. They are really high quality, very well optimized, and looking really good. Let's add these red and violet flowers first. So click here, click there, click here. There we go. Switch back to the camera. Maybe go crazy with the density in this area here, and let's get rid of these. The easiest way to get rid of assets, because I don't know which one is which, I just click on all of them, enable all of them, and then remove what I like to remove. Alright. Another type of flowers. Oh, these are super nice. This flower is also nice. So I will start randomizing my selection without going too crazy. Save everything. I don't like this. So you have the option to go from paint. These are the tools we can use in the foliage editing mode. You can select a single mesh like this, move it, rotate it, or do whatever you like. If you don't want to paint everything at once, like let's say this is very useful for trees, you want just to place a single mesh, you can also do that. Just click like this. Sorry about the mouse sound. Press Ctrl Z. Alright. Here are some ground meshes. I think these are extremely awesome, that you can find in the Project Nature Foliage Collection Ground Plant Mesh. That's enough grass and ground meshes for now. What is really awesome is this Project Nature Interactive Spruce Forest. It has some very nice trees that we can use. Go to meshes. Let's start with the folder that says half. The difference basically that the leaves cover half the tree. So if you go to full, that is awesome. There is low poly and high poly. There are 4 types of trees. Let's delete these 2 first and select 4 of them. Go back to the foliage editing mode, then just click and drag these here, and let's switch back to our camera. Let's take another look again at our reference. We have some of these trees here in the background, and we also do have the sun here. Okay. You can paint, so click paint, but the only thing you need to do, it's a trial and error. Set the density to something like 2 and paint again. Okay, 2 maybe is too low. Let's go with a 5. Paint again. Much better. Okay, increase my brush size and click in random areas. Okay, we can tell trees not to follow the normal. So I'm gonna first select these 4 and in placement, align to normal. I'm gonna say go away for now. Just paint one here. Alright, let's go back to the trees folder, go to the full and add these 3 here. Then select them and set the density to 5. Let's go back to paint and paint our trees.
Let's give him a little friend. There he is. There he is.
Let's switch back to the camera. Yeah, I kinda like this. I'm gonna save everything, and it's time to play with the atmosphere a little bit before we continue making our scene look even more beautiful. Switch back to the select mode, press Shift 1 or just click on this icon, then press Ctrl L. Move your mouse only left and right, or up and down, not all at once. It's gonna be crazy. Ooh, that's a happy accident.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
On our skylight, we need to enable real-time capture. So if you click Lumen, beautiful. Let's disable the volumetric cloud for now. That's the sun. What happens if we bring the sun to the opposite side? Okay, let's keep it there for now. I will select my directional light. If you look here at the sun on our reference, it's slightly bigger, so you can go to the source angle and increase this to something like 5 or 4 or 8. It's up to you. That's another planet there. So let's make it around 3, and you can even look at the shadows. They get softer and softer. So if you make it like 10, you can see here, I'm not sure if you can see. That's the default value, and that's 10. Gotta love Lumen. Alright, let's say 3. Let's also decrease the intensity to something like 3 and reduce this again to 3 or 4. Let's add volumetric height fog. So go to visual effects, exponential height fog, and then let's also enable here the volumetric fog. Beautiful. Let's play with the in-scattering color, with the hue. Maybe something warm, green, yellow, and orange. Yeah, I kinda like this. I'm gonna keep it like this for now. Let's go back to the trees, small trees. Add just a few. Align to normal, make it false. Oh, I changed my camera by mistake. Let's fix this. If you don't want to change your camera like this by mistake because you cannot undo this, you need to lock the transform of your camera. So just by simply clicking on the camera, right click and go to transform, you can lock the actor movement. And now if you try to move the camera, nothing is going to happen, which is great. I will download some assets from Quixel Bridge like rocks and fence and some imp arcs. So let's go here to content Quixel Bridge. Here in the search just type fence, you will find all these. I already downloaded the horse hitching post, and I think this modular fence is also nice. Nanite or not to nanite. Let's just download high quality for now. We can nanite later. Yeah, this is nanite. Export it. I downloaded this earlier. Let's go to the Megascans folder. It's already organized for us. Thank you, Quixel. Let's go to 3D assets. This is the asset we just imported. Wow, look at that. The amount of detail is crazy. Nanite for the win. I like only to have one. Something feels off with the material though. I will just change the minimum roughness to 0.6, 0.5, slightly better. If you go here in Quixel Bridge, you will find all the assets you've downloaded. I already downloaded all of these to make the house, but I think I'm gonna make this for another tutorial. I have a modular pack I'm gonna show you how to use. It's not free though, but that's okay. And basically you get the idea, guys. Download assets, paint them, have some fun, and make beautiful stuff. Oh man, that's awesome. Nanite, bro. Let's add some racks to the road. This is the only asset pack that is not free. Actually, they even stopped the sale, but there is nothing really special about it. There are just some racks and a modular house. If you want to mirror meshes real quick, you can just untick this, then on the x-axis here, according to this mesh, you can just type -1. Just like that. Easy peasy. Make a duplicate. Almost any modular asset pack you can get from the marketplace, you can do the same for it. Press shift to move the camera with your mesh. Just make it easier. By the way, if you're a content creator who make products for the marketplace and want me to take a look at your assets, make stuff like this, feel free to get in touch with your boy. Alright, I'm gonna press Ctrl middle mouse button again, go to the tab, press my landscape and just quickly hide it. And I have a shortcut for this, it's Shift H. It just makes it easier for me to select my static meshes, and I can isolate my selection just like this to make sure everything is correct. These are also shortcuts I have made from the visibility. These guys here, or just like earlier where we said paste here. To set these shortcuts, go to Edit, Editor Preferences, then to the keyboard and shortcuts and just search for them here, like paste here, hide selected, and so on. If you have any tips like this, let me know. I would love to take all the tips. Alright, I'm gonna press Ctrl G now to group my selection, so when I go back to my map, I don't have to select everything one by one. So now they're just grouped like this. Awesome. I would like to make a folder for this. In the word outliner, I will right click, move to create new folder and call it capping. Make another folder, call it lights. You know the drill. Just keep things slightly organized. This is looking good. Add some wood, bring some stairs. If you don't want to group stuff anymore, that's completely fine, because now since we have everything in one folder like here, you can right click and go to select and immediate children or descendants. I'll go back to my camera and just rotate the house a little bit, the capping. I like it. Let's wrap this tutorial by painting some wrecks on the street here. They make all the difference. Keep my racks more on the sides. There can be some in the middle, that's completely okay. Maybe add few big racks. We could use these trees, they're so nice though. Should I? No, I promise you to use free assets. So, let's not. Basically, it's a process of having fun. Anyway, you need to thank the guys for watching. Look at this grumpy boy. Say hello. Feel free to create something and tag us at vrdivision or ya boy Yahya Jasem. Subscribe if you're not already. Leave a like. Let me know what Bob Ross painting you want me to do, by the way. Cheers.
So from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting and God bless, my friend.